Alright, guys, it is the Diary of Jane Doe, and I am coming on to talk about and to talk to Fundy, which is a term for fundamental Christian people or fundamental people, because it includes the sister wives. But anyway, that's another topic for another day. But Fundy Snark. There are snark pages, or pages that talk about and pick apart the lives and the decisions and the beliefs and the clothes and the Instagram and the Facebook and the whatever of fundamental Christian people, typically those that are popular in the media, like the Duggars and the Bates and the sister wives, the Rodriguez family, which they don't have a TV show, but she was very vocal and had a really big social media presence. And their daughter is marrying Anna Duggar's brother. And they love to snark on them. And that's just basically where they sit around and they pick apart and try to analyze every move that these people make and every belief system that they hold and every rule that they've ever had and any group they've ever been part of. And then if the group is even similar to their beliefs, well, then they probably were part of that at some point, and this group did something, so by proxy these people are also guilty of the crimes of this other group. It's kind of ridiculous, but it's also really entertaining, but it's also kind of frustrating. I stumbled upon Pickles and Hairspray, a Facebook page where a couple of years ago, when I wrote a blog post about my marriage, and my marriage was in a bad way. We were dealing with a lot of struggles, and I was safe. My kids were safe, but there was just a lot of brokenness. There was addiction, there were struggles, there was fear of how we were going to come back from this. And I wrote a blog post about Anna's strength during the whole scandal, and she had said on an episode once that I just need to have the right response for the next 15 minutes, and that had really resonated with me, and it helped me to say, Lord, I just need the right next response for the next 15 minutes. And I had posted it in that page, and then the moderator Pickles private messaged me and said, you've posted to the wrong page. This is a snark page. We're not in support of the Duggars. Like, you're probably going to get a lot of heat. And I did. People were tearing it apart and whatever. Fine. I get that. So then through that, I had learned about Free Ginger. That's a forum. It's a website, but it's an online forum. There's subreddits. There's this whole rabbit hole of snark pages. Fast forward to last Sunday, where I open up YouTube to look at something quick on YouTube before I go to church, and I see this suggested video from a girl named Katie who runs the page Without a Crystal Ball, and she is talking all about this investigation, or the alleged investigation at the time, of Josh Duggar and some of the Duggar family from, at first she was saying the FBI and then local law enforcement and whatever. And they started talking about the different traffic at various parts of the Duggar compound, and the bus wasn't there and they weren't at church, and what does this mean? And then came out that they were on vacation in Branson, Missouri, and it's like, oh my word, this is huge. This is huge. They went on vacation. This is huge. This is huge. Oh my word, this is big. This is massive. Where there's smoke, there's fire. I'm not doubting that stuff didn't happen. I'm not doubting that there's no investigation, but it's like, okay, you're using traffic as your big, this is the smoke of the fire. Their van was out of town. Fine. Okay, whatever. Then I got sucked into her channel, and she starts talking about ATI and IBLP. It's not a secret that we use ATI as one part of our homeschool curriculum. I was raised in a conservative Christian home in a community of conservative Christian people. I've been well entrenched into this movement, so to speak, And I had to kind of laugh at some of the things she was saying about ATI and about IBLP and the inaccuracies. A lot of what she said was true, but there was so many like half-truths and mixed, or maybe that was a rule like when ATI first started, but we've changed our views on that. The rules have changed on that particular stance. We have a new stance on that because things do change. But I noticed that a lot of the snark is rehashing a few people that have spoken out who haven't been in the organization in a long time. And a lot of what they're saying is outdated, or they're just rehashing the same thing, and it may not have been accurate in the first place. And, you know, it's funny because I teach my kids not everything you read on the internet is true. And not everything that Katie was saying about ATI and about IBLP were true. And it was kind of, and I hear it with other people too, with other snarkers. And I don't know if that's a real word, but that's what I'm calling these people, is snarkers. And it's frustrating because if you have some legitimate concerns and you have real frustrations and you have real issues with what's going on in an organization or within a family, you're going to be easily discredited when you have inaccuracies. And if you want to bring light into darkness, they are going to pick apart what you're saying. And they're going to say that isn't even true and discredit everything you have to say. And so if you want to talk about ATI and IBLP and you want to get some information, using a reliable source that is 3 or 4 people removed from an organization or from a family, you're not going to necessarily get the most accurate portrayal of that group or of that family. Kindergarten, when you play the game telephone and one person says something to their neighbor and then their neighbor and their neighbor and like 5 people down the line, it's a totally different message. You know, if you aren't there, you can't really know what's going on in a group. And if your reliable source is 3 or 4 people removed, then that's going to get twisted again 3 times or 4 times down. And makes what you're saying less credible. And that's kind of, if your goal is ratings and people commenting, oh my gee, like OMG, that's terrible, I always knew they were horrible people, well, then you're probably going to get that. You're probably going to get that. But if your desire and your goal is to have accurate information to bring light, to shed light on a particular issue, then accuracy is really key, because you can't get change where there's not accurate information, and you know, you're calling out the wrong things, or you're making allegations that someone who has been there will say, no, that's actually not how that works. But you know, feel free to reach out to me. I'm on Facebook. The Diary of Jane Doe is on Facebook. Private message me. I'd love to talk to you. Comment on my videos. Post down below and say, hey, I always wondered about this. I always wondered about that. Katie, feel free to private message me on Facebook. That's from Without a Crystal Ball. I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to chat with you. You work closely with No Longer Quivering, and that's great. I know she's one of your sources. I also know that she's not in the group anymore. And I know that things change. And that, you know, our stance on certain issues have changed a lot over the history of ATI. So anyway, I'm going to sign off because this is getting long, but I just wanted to kind of chuckle at some of the things I've been seeing down when I fell down this rabbit hole, but also on a serious note say, you know, if you want an accurate portrayal and an accurate representation of what ATI looks like now, reach out to me. I would love to talk to you. All right, hope you're having a great day. It is cold where we are right now, so I'm about to make some hot cocoa and snuggle up with my kids on the couch, and we're gonna do some read alouds, and maybe we will watch a movie later. Anyway, I hope you guys are having a great night and that you're staying safe and you're being blessed. Okay, love you so much. Bye-bye.